Guten Tag, my name is DMAD, and welcome to another installment of Kingsnake Canyon Zoo. So, in this episode, we're doing two things. One, we're building a habitat for the tortoises that I had to take out of the petting zoo, they didn't cope well. And two, we're just doing some house cleaning. If you saw my last episode, there were a lot of problems with the animals. You can see that on screen right now, but we're going to clear that up before the end of the episode. So first we're building the tortoise area. This is going to be for all our Aldabras and our one Galapagos tortoise. It's just going to be a small area that you can see as you walk into Kingsnake Canyon Zoo. Had the fence on the lowest that I could so that guests could see it. We're still going to have some barricades or fence on the outside. And raising the back fence up so it's more like a backdrop. So yeah. So we're just going pretty simple with this habitat. It's only going to be, I just got the Australian shed, make it real simple. Adding a big source of water, the feeders, and plenty of enrichment. And then I decided to go with a in-ground pool, make sure that the water area is good, or make sure that all the filtration covers that. I decided to go with like a small in-ground pool, that way that they can go in. It's kind of inspired by a reptile YouTuber that I watched named Camp Kennan. He does a lot of stuff with tortoises and lizards. And then I'm adding trying to add like a rock wall around it. That way the water doesn't like overflow and stuff, and it looks aesthetically pleasing. So, just adding all the rocks. And also I made all smooth rock. So it's just like a little in-ground pool. Tortoises can go in if they want. I know that there's some tortoises that do that. In fact, if you look at tortoises, you notice that some of the tortoise noses are on top of their heads so they can drink. Adding some cactuses because I know that tortoises love cactuses, like those flat ones right there. Also gives off that desert feel. And then I decided to do a little something interesting so I don't want the tortoises to eat all the plants, because I know if you got a lot of tortoises, they'll destroy like a bunch of grass and stuff. I've seen it with a group of sulcatas. But instead, I'm putting raised planters, like the rocks are serving as planters, and then adding bushes and stuff in the background so that so it looks more aesthetically pleasing. Adding a bunch of desert plants. Also, excuse my voice, I have a bit of a cold, so if it sounds congested, I don't know if it does, but we'll see. Tried to look and see if I could find some like dead sticks or brush or something, but yeah, making sure that I got all the right terrain, and here come the tortoises. Tossing them all in. Then I wanted to look for like a fence. Didn't want anything that looked like too shabby, so I went with the little rock mud wall. So just line that way people don't reach their hands in with the tortoises. And yeah, I do plan on extending the public guestway, so we're right there. So people can go and see tortoises from different angles, but it's not too far so that they're going in the staff area. Tortoises wanted some grass area that's good for grazing. Add some dirt and all that. But yeah, I do plan on doing the mod with the African spur thigh. Oh yeah, and then we had some problems with these two female Aldabras. So I went ahead and sold one off. And then they were fine after that. I do have one male Aldabra, and the rest are females. So now we're moving on to the problems with overpopulation. That's what kind of most of it came down to, is that there were too many animals in the habitat. Also, some of the flamingos were uncomfortable with like not having enough hard shelter, so I added this little, or I wanted to add like a little hut on the inside. I had to move around their food, that way they're not eating where they sleep, soften up some of the terrain, and put in some bedding. So they'll have this little hut to hang out in, make sure that tree isn't exposed, it's all planted. And then, yeah. So, on with all the problems in the hoofstock pen. Again, it came down to overpopulation. So what I ended up doing, and this is just, I had to get rid of some of the signs because they were too far away. Raise some prices. But anyways, what most of the problems came down to was water and overpopulation. So what I ended up doing is in the peacock habitat. And there's a bit of cheating, but I changed the settings so that the terrain didn't bother them. I turned it back later on, I thought I'd try seeing if that was a problem. So I got rid of all but our alpha male pronghorn, and then with the rest of the hoofstock, what I ended up doing is I sold off the younger ones. So this area right here this is kind of a sneak peek, because in the next episode we're going to be working on the beginning of our Africa section. We're going to have it'll be our first themed section, geographically themed. So like I said, what the problem came down to was overcrowding. So all the younger animals I sold off. We still have the OGs that we started the Kingsnake Canyon off with, but any of their offspring we sold off. And yeah, you'll notice I stopped recording at this point because I forgot to record this part, but we sold them off. And then with the flamingos, we still had all the adults that we bought. We just had all their chicks. So what I did is I gathered up the chicks, put them in the trade center, because I'm going to be building numerous flamingo habitats for the different flamingos. Also, another thing that messed with a lot of the animals was the dehydration. Just because we're in the desert, they need more water, and the water kept drying up. So what I ended up doing was putting a lot of the water pipes that give them an endless amount of water in a lot of their habitats. So I think I'm going to make that a point in the next video, kind of tackling water in the desert and making a well, because I think that would also kind of serve to be a little educational. We'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's as far as we got with this episode. In the next one, we're going to be building our Africa area out, and I think that's going to take up the next few episodes. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider liking and subscribing to the channel and following us on our other platforms. The link tree will be in the description below. Also, share this video out to anyone who loves Planet Zoo, zoos, or animals in general. Thank you all for watching, and remember, always be prepared, do good daily, and love nature, for your life is a canvas, and you have the brush. Auf Wiedersehen!